Welcome to Lecture 12, Assembly Language Part 2. This lecture is the continuity of the assembly language. So these are the topics of Lecture 12 today. As you can see, these are the remaining instructions of 8085 microprocessor. And these instructions you already know in the group of 5. Let's discuss one by one these instructions. Okay, so first of all, these two instructions, increment and decrement. So the contents of any register or memory location can be incremented or decremented by 1. Very simple. For example, if the operand is the memory location, its address is specified by the contents of HL pair register for both increment and decrement instructions. So these are the examples you can see. Now there is another instruction which is INX and DCX. So the only difference between these instructions and these instructions is that INX and DCX instructions are used for register pair. Okay, so here you are not using these two instructions for the memory location, only for the register pair, which is 16-bit address. These are the example. Now example number 5. We already covered 4 examples of assembly program in lecture 11. So now this is example number 5. Now this example is very simple. We need to write a program to load 150 value into the accumulator, and then we are going to decrement until it is equal to 0, the accumulator, and then we stop the program. Now very simple. Start loop done. These are the user defined name or labels. Here you see 150 load to accumulator, decrement by 1, and the compare the value of A with the 0. When the value of accumulator is equal to 0, okay, then we have here conditional jump. So then break, the control will go to here and program will stop. If it is not equal to 0, the accumulator value, then we see here we have jump unconditional. Okay, so jump unconditional means we will no matter what we jump here, the loop will work here. Okay, so once say the accumulator value is equal to 0, then it will stop the program and then end up the assembly program. Okay, now stacks. So what is stack? Stack is basically area in the memory to store data temporarily. We can load the data into the stack and we can retrieve the data from the stack. Means we can add the data and we can remove the data from the stack, because this is only for temporary basis. Okay, now how it will work? It will work in this fashion, which is last in and first out. Okay, so here you can see the example. It is like that. Stack, it is also a stack. You see a pile of the books on the table, and then you see push, we use instruction for to add data, and pop we use for removing the data from the stack. Okay, now stack is basically represented by the contiguous block of the memory. Means that contiguous block of the memory means that which are close to each other, okay, in the sequence. So how we are going to implement the stack? Stacks can be implemented by 2 operations or 2 instructions. One is called push, another one is called pop. Okay, push, add the data, pop, remove the data or retrieve the data. So these instruction needs one special kind of the register, and it is called stack pointer. This is 16-bit address register. So how the pushing and popping instruction will work? Okay, so we'll go to this slide. Now here you see the rule for pushing is that first of all decrement the stack pointer and then store the value. Okay, now you see stack before the push and stack after the push. Now as I told you, the rule 1 is what? The first step is what? Decrement the stack pointer. Okay, so decrement the stack pointer first. And what is the second step? Then load the value into the stack. Sorry. Okay, now the value stored on the accumulator. This is pushing. Okay, now next is popping. How popping? So the rule for popping is first read the value from the stack and then increment the stack pointer. Now first we read the value from the stack and then we increment the stack pointer. Okay, so this is the rule. Clear? Now here here we can say that when we are going to use stack, when we are going to use the stack, so see here that stack basically provide an organized way to store subroutine or procedure which return the addresses. And when we are going to use stack between the subroutine or procedure, we need to remove the item which has placed on it, okay, by popping operation. Now what is subroutine, or you can say a procedure? So subroutine is a group of instructions that will be used over and over again in different location of the program. So in assembly language, these subroutines can be exist in anywhere in the program code, but better to separate from the main program. Okay. Now call unconditionally. So call is instruction. Now call instruction is used to execute to routines redirect program. Now here you can see the example call 400H. Now the program sequence is transferred to this 16-bit address, okay, in the memory location. And now you can see this is the 16-bit register address in the operand here in the memory location, and this, the contents of this memory location also store in W and Z register, okay. And before the transfer, the address of next instruction, okay, also store where into the program counter, and this contents of the program counter is pushed onto the stack. So see here, you can see the stack here. So the contents also pushed onto the stack, and now here you can see the stack pointer, okay, is a special kind of the register. As I told you, this is 16-bit, okay. Now call conditionally. So call conditionally, I told you many times that conditionally means if the condition is satisfied, then go to the new location, okay. Now here the only difference between call conditionally and unconditionally is that here you need to satisfy the condition, okay, but here no matter what you are going to do something. So here you need to satisfy the condition, which is based on what? Based on the specified flag of the program status word, okay. So it is same, but as I told you that only you need to meet the condition. And here, if you see the X in blue color, you can replace any condition with the X. Okay, so for example, call Z, call NZ. So call if equal to 0, call if not equal to 0, like this. Now here you can see all those conditions. You can see here, call on 0, call if no 0, call if even parity, call if odd parity. So this is the flag register status when the condition satisfied. You can see. So you see the condition here, the flag register condition, and then it will work. Okay. Now return unconditionally. So now here return unconditionally. So when we use return instructions in our program, the program sequence transfer from subroutine to calling program, and the 2 bytes of from the stack are copied into the program counter, and the program execution begins at the new address. So we have a example 7 where you will see that how we use this return instruction in the program. Okay. Now return conditionally. So as I told you, no matter what, we need to follow the this instruction return. So the program sequence again to the calling program based on the specified flag of the program status. Okay, flag registers. Now here again the return instruction with the condition. X is any condition. It could be any condition. Okay. For example, return 0. Return if equal to 0. Okay. Now here you can see the instructions with the return instruction with more conditions, and these are the flag register status. So it depends on the flag register status, then condition satisfy or not satisfy. Okay. I explained this thing, I think, in both lecture. Okay. Now example 6. This is the 6th example of this lecture. 5 we covered in lecture 11. Sorry. So here the program is very simple. We need to read a value on input port address, which is 100. If the number represented by the data equal to 232, we need to call a subroutine or procedure, and then to add 3 to value and store it in the register E. Very simple. Input start user defined name or labels. This is directive, as I told you, equate 100, so assign 100 to input port. This is the address. Now we set up the stack pointer, which is 16-bit address, and then we read the value from the address 100, and we compare. Here you see CPI 232. We compare the value of 232 with the accumulator. If the value is equal to, the value of accumulator is equal to 232, then the condition satisfy, and the control will move to where? To subroutine here. And then we add 3 into the accumulator with the value, and the contents of the accumulator A move or copy to register E. And then here we see the return instruction, which is unconditional. And then the next instruction is what? That stop the program. Okay. And then the assembly program stop. Okay. Now there are 2 types of the register: push register and the pop register. So what does it mean when we use this instruction? push or push B or push A, or pop A or pop B. So the contents of the register pair copy onto the stack, and the stack pointer is decremented, and the contents of high order are copied and then again decremented, and then contents of the lower order register are copied. So this is same as I explained you in the push and pop operation, that in push, first of all, the contents, the stack pointer is decremented first, and then load the data into the stack. Okay, so same thing is going on here. First, stack pointer decremented, and then load data which is high order register copied, and then again decremented, and then again low order register C, E, L, P, S, W are copied. Okay, so push A or push B. This is register pair, which is is 16-bit. Then you have pop. It will work same like that, pop operation. So first of all, that the data is going to read from the stack first, and then incremented the stack pointer. Okay, so first of all, the data is going to read, and then stack pointer is incremented, and the contents of memory location are copied into high order of the operand, and then stack pointer is again incremented. Okay, like that. So this is the example. Now this is the instruction of machine code. So no operation, NOP means no operation is performed. The instruction is fetched and decoded. However, no operation is. So logical operation now. So logical operation all operate on the accumulator using immediate data register or memory location. Now these are the instruction with the immediate data, and these are the instruction with the register. Okay, now these are the operations and our exclusive OR. So that ANI logical operation between accumulator and immediate data, and here logical operation with accumulator and register. Now you can see here the example, ANI 45H. So what does it mean? The contents of accumulator are logically and with the 8-bit data, and here you can see the contents of accumulator are logically and with the contents of the register or memory, with this example and this. These are the example of logical operation. You can see example 1 and 2, very simple. You can read by yourself. It is very simple to understand. Okay, now operation on the accumulator. Operation on the accumulator, these are the special instructions for the accumulator: complement, rotate left, rotate right, and rotate left through carry, rotate right through carry. Now you can see here the example, which is rotate left. So each bit in the accumulator can be shift left or right. Okay, so now you can see here that bit D7 is moving to the left to the position of D0, and also to the carry flag RLC, because rotate left and carry. So same here, if you see RAL, which is rotate left through carry. So here the position D7 is moving the data into the carry flag, and through carry flag it is going to move to the D0 position. Okay, so the this is the work of these a load. Okay, so these are the operation on HL register, which is higher and lower register. SPHL, this instruction means that whenever this instruction used in the program, it means copy HL pair to the stack pointer. Means HL pair means the 16 pair address will copy to the stack pointer. And then here this instruction, which is LHLD, load the first data in HL register pair. And the third instruction is or operation is XTHL, which is exchange HL with the top of the stack. Okay. Now example 7. The summary of this program is that we are going to store some value in accumulator and in register B, C, D, and E, and then we call a subroutine that is going to sum 4 values from the memory location P, Q, RS, and store the result in the T. The subroutine then return the value. So here what you need to know is that whenever the subroutine return the value to the main program, so the value should not be changed. Okay, so how we can do this? Now see the program first. Now as you know, org is directive, load the code starting memory location 0, and here you can see P, Q, R, S, T. These are the labels, user defined name, and here you see the directive. 4 directive we use for define byte and 1 directive for define space. So define byte, you know, they allocate 8-bit for P, Q, R, S, and then memory location reserved for the for T. Now here program will start, load the stack pointer with 255, and the value of A, B, C, D, which is accumulator and register B, C, D, will be loaded into the register and accumulator. And then here you see the call. Here we are going to call a subroutine. So once we call a subroutine, this is unconditional, and then our program will jump to where? Here. In subroutine, this subroutine is going to do something, some task for us. So first of all, it will push the value on the stack. Okay, store the value A and PSW on the stack, then store the value B and C on the stack, then the value of D and E store on the stack. Then we load P. So put the value at location P into the accumulator. So whatever the value in the location P, we are going to load into the accumulator and then move it to be B. So from accumulator to B. So what value we have at location P right now? See, initially the value of A, B, C, D is 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And when we load the value of at location P, Q, R, S, so these value will be loaded 20, 21, 22, 23. Where? Here. Okay, so let's say suppose 20 at location P. So 20 will be loaded into accumulator, and then this 21 will move to where? B register. Same here, from Q into accumulator and then move to C. Same here at location R. The location R, the value is 22, will load where? Into the C from the accumulator A. Okay, same here, R and D value move from accumulator to D. Okay, now same like S. After that, we are going to add the 4 values. Okay, add B, C, D, T, and add B, C, D, and store the result in the T. Now what is important here? In the beginning, the value is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. But after when we call the subroutine, the value now in A, B, C, D will be different. Right now, this value after calling the subroutine. Okay, and then we add the 4 values and the result store where into the T. Now, what is the requirement of our program? The requirement of our program is that when we save the critical values in the beginning, we want to restore those values again before return to the calling program. Now, so what operation or what instruction we use? We will use the instruction pop. So popping instruction we are going to use here to restore our value, our original value in D and E and B and C, okay, and in A and also in program status, the flag registers, original values, okay. So now I say as I told you, the stack working nature, that it will push the data and then pop the data, okay. So pushing in so how the stack will work, as I told you, that first in, last out. So what we first in? A, B, D. So what will be the out first? D, B and A, okay. So once it will done, it will restore the value. Now the value from 20, 21, 22, 23, restore value will be what? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 again, okay. And then this instruction which is return to the calling program, this is again, as I told you, this is unconditional return, and then it will go to the last program, which is control will go where? Control will go to the main program, and then what is the next instruction after the call? Subroutine halt. So it will stop the program and the original value will be restored. That's all, okay. So this is the end of our lecture, okay. So if you have any comments or question, you can contact to your concerned teacher, and the good way is to post your question on the blackboard so the teacher can answer. Thank you very much. Stay safe and thank you.